All right. Good morning, everybody. And again, this is going to be pending orders for pocket option. And I'll teach you guys a little bit about pocket option as well. So it will be like a pocket option overview because it's important to know how to use the platform that you're on as well as the platform that you are learning from. So we are going to start on pocketoption.com today. And we're also going to be using the Liberty scanner to find our entry points. Alrighty, this is going to be a very interesting training. So first and foremost, we already know that before we get into any trades, we just check the news and we're going to check our currency strength as well. So we can make sure that the analysis that we're doing is not in vain and we can maybe find some live entry points, right? So the time is 10:24. We see a lot of folders today, right? Let me remind you guys that it is NFP week. And NFP is just the first week of every month. It's when all of the countries are having really big discussions about the money and what's going on with the money in the country. So a lot of news is consistently coming out, meaning a lot more pairs are moving a lot more volatile. It's not saying that you cannot trade those pairs or you should not trade those pairs, but if you are a new trader, I would avoid it because you could have a really nice setup, a really nice analysis, but then the market goes the other way simply because how volatile the news was. So when you see a red folder, as a newer trader, you want to avoid it. So it looks like we're not going to be trading, let me see, any GBP pairs and any USD because it has an orange folder. The only ones that are in the clear are if you see a yellow folder or no folder at all. So we see CAD has a yellow folder. AUD has a yellow folder, but other than that, we don't really see much news about any other currency pairs. So it doesn't mean that you can't trade them. It means that they're actually good to go. So let's just see. We're going to be avoiding GBP and USD. All right. Somebody remind me of that if I ask later. We're going to be avoiding GBP, or let me just drop it in the chat. GBP, USD. GBP and USD. And when it's NFP week, you guys want to make sure that you use a little bit more caution. You want to slow down and make sure you take these steps even more seriously than you would if it was a regular week. So we got that. So the next thing we're going to do is choose our currency pair based on that. And we're going to start with, we can start with AUDCAD. I don't see anything wrong with that. And then we're going to check our currency strength as well. So pretty much first you start off by checking your news. If you see red or orange folders, you avoid them. You choose your currency pair based on the payout. Make sure it's over 70%. Then you want to head to livecharts.uk, locate where it says currency strength meter, and you want to see how the currencies are doing against each other. So we chose AUDCAD. AUDCAD. It's pretty close, but the AUD is a little bit stronger, meaning that this market is really trying to be driven up. When you're using this as an indicator, if you see that the first currency in that currency pair has more strength, you're like, okay, this market is really trying to go up. The buyers are really in control right now. And if you see that the first currency is weaker, it's just an indication for a sell, letting you know that the market could be trying to go down right now. It's not a end all be all, but it is just an indicator, and it's the first indication to let you decide, all right, what am I going to be doing today? So ADCAD, it looks like they're trying to drive the market up right now. And this is cool while you have the demo account. So typically we are going to be working on pending orders today, but typically when we get into trades and you're on a live session or you're going to go live and the educator says, all right, when the market gets to around this area, you get in, essentially that is a pending order because you're waiting for it to hit a certain point before you actually make your move. But if you're doing something like trading by the time frame, which I'll go over a little bit today, what you're doing is actually market execution, because there are at least 5 different ways that you can get into the market. But we're going to focus on market execution and the basic concept of pending orders. So let's just say we wanted to get in right now, just for, don't get in now, but let's just say we got in right now, right? That's considered market execution. We don't have no entry point. We're not waiting for the market to revisit a certain area. We're just like, all right, well, looks like it's selling. I'm going to go for a sell. I'm getting in wherever the market's at right now. and whatever happens, happens. And that's typically what we do if we're not waiting for the entry point, if we're getting in earlier or sooner than what the entry point was called, or if we're not physically setting the pending order. So we just gonna let that trade go, and then we're gonna go to the Liberty Scanner. So I'll be using the regular simple scalper strategy today. It's very simple, and we'll be able to just move through, I think, a little bit quicker. So we're looking at AUDCAD. So whenever you come to the Liberty Scanner, you have to first select your strategy. It's going to be in the top left corner, and it's 4 different ones you could choose from, but I just chose the first one, simple scalper. Then you also want to make sure that the currency pair that is on your pocket option is the same currency pair that's here, because it doesn't automatically translate because 2 different platforms. So we're going to go to AUDCAD. And we're going to start on the 5-minute analysis, because we're going to be taking, I'll give you guys the option. You can either take 1-minute trades or 3-minute trades. It's really no big difference, because you're still just sitting at your computer or sitting at your phone, clicking a button, waiting for the time to pass. So you're going to have the option. But when it comes to entry points, the best time to get in is going to be either when the market revisits a certain point, which is why you set a pending order, or as soon as your newest candle starts. So if a candle is forming every 5 minutes, that means that it's forming 5 minutes from the top of every hour. So it'll be like 10:30, 10:35, 10:40, 10:45, 10:50, 10:55, and so on and so forth. So we can look at this if we know the trigger words for a buy. Well, I didn't go over how to set a pending order yet. I'm just going over the difference between pending order and market execution and how they both could be used for entries. Like a new candle, we know is going to form in 2 seconds, and it should be a blue candle. And when that candle forms, we already had the indications on this candle to actually go in for that trade and get in for a buy. So it would have had the blue candle, it would have had the dot, it would have had the blue bar, it would have been facing up, it would have been facing up, and we would have said, okay, when this new candle forms, we can get in for a 1, 2, or 3-minute buy. But I would probably do 3-minute based on pretty much we can see how it's moving. But all right. So the pending orders is, first you would need to know what your entry point is, right? You have to know what your entry point is in order to be able to set it as the pending order. So before you even start counting your confirmations, you want to find your entry points. Now, the easiest way to do it, the easiest way to do it is to take a horizontal line, right, from the left panel, and you want to put one at the top of the current candle, right? We're only going to focus on the red candle, and you want to put one at the bottom of the current candle, right? It don't have to be exactly on the candle, but as long as it's under the candle, you should definitely be fine. And the reason why you do this first is because you already have your entry points. Your top line is always going to be your resistance line. Your bottom line is always going to be your support line. Anytime you find the candles between 2 lines, y'all, the top line is always going to be where you can sell. The bottom line is always going to be where you can buy. And you can just cross check or double check if your entry point is valid by just zooming out. And you want to confirm by seeing that candles have hit that same point and had the same action more than one time before. So based on this top line right here, right, it is at the top of our candle. And if you want, I also recommend this, especially if you are still having trouble like finding which candle to focus on. Just take a vertical line, 2 vertical lines, put one to the left of the current candle and one to the right of the current candle. So now you know exactly where you should be focused on, right? Honestly, nothing beyond this particular candle matters, but if you want to confirm extra that this is a good entry point for a sell, you just want to see how many other candles have touched this same line. So we have 1, right? We have 2, we have 3, right? We see it broke above a little bit, but we also have 4, 5. You can even go back further, 6, right? We have at least 6 confirmations. Remember, you only need 3 to confirm that that's a good entry point. But if you guys see what I mean by other candles have touched this same line before, we know that if the market gets to 622 or higher, we can get in for a sell because the candle has not gotten higher than that in the last 5 minutes. And it's 2 minutes left on this candle. So that means that 622 is a good area of resistance. not only is it showing up on the current candle, but at least 6 other candles before have hit that same point and turned around, right? If that makes sense, y'all, drop a 7 in the chat. If it does not make sense, drop a question mark. Okay, good. So now that we know that that is a good entry point for a sell, because not only is the current candle there, but the other candles have reached that area, we know that this is where we would sell, right? 0.92622. Right now, I'm just going to drop that in the chat just so that I can remember what it is, because I really be forgetting, y'all. 0.92622, right? So that's going to be our entry point. So with HFX, we know that the market is moving fast. We can go in for a sell right now, right? Or we can wait until it gets to 622. But this is where you would want to set your pending order. We have our entry point. So once you actually get your entry point, you come over to pending trades. It's going to be right here in the right panel. You click pending trades. And you're going to want to do by the asset price, right? So the first step is to click pending trades. The second step is to click by the asset price. The third step is to make sure you have the right currency pair, right? We know it's AUDCAD. And now we just need to put our entry point in that we have, which is 0.92622. And you always want to change the payout to 70%, because if it's under 70, it's not going to trigger. But if it's 70%, 72%, 75%, 79, anything 70 and above, it will trigger. And again, you could change this to a 3-minute trade, right? And we know once it gets to 622, guys, what do we want it to do? Buy or sell? Yep, we want it to sell. So we're going to click the red button, right? We're going to click the red button. And once you do that, it's going to pop up in your current trades, right? It's going to pop up in your current trades. And whenever the market gets to that point, it's going to put you into the trade. Now, the cool thing about this is, all right, we found one entry point. Now we can see the market doesn't even look like it's anywhere close to 622 right now. So we just going to, do you let it drop a few points on PO? Well, it doesn't really matter where it's at, because we have to wait for the market to get back to the entry point that we set anyway. So in between this time that the market is doing its thing, you could say, well, all right, I set my pending order for a sell. I know the market is going to continue to sell. I'm going to wait for it to reach that point, but you can still take trades in between that time as well. The good thing is that you already set it up. But we can see we have a new candle here, so we can set up a new pending order, or we could wait. So we got a candle. Let's go to the new candle. Right now, as long as we have our resistance line and our support line, we can go for the buy or for the sell. But we see more confirmations for the sell. We see a red candle. We see, well, this is changing a lot, but we see a red candle, a red volume bar. This line is facing down. This line is facing down. And we know our next entry point could be 597 or higher, right? So we can come back to our chart. We can wait for it to get to 597 because it's so close, or we can just set another pending trade, right? We can just go to pending trades, do the same thing, go to buy the asset price, and just change the last 3 numbers to 597. Make sure we change the payout to 70%. Put it on a 3-minute time frame. Change what you want your payout to be and click sell. Right? So now we don't have to do anything else. We can just continue to find entry points, and they're just going to continue to trigger when the market reaches that point. Now, I'm not going to do anything right now. Like it should trigger in a second because it's like 596. I'm just not going to touch my mouse. All right, there we go. We can see it automatically put us into the trade without me having to do anything because all of the parameters were set. It put us into the trade. As soon as it hit 597, it put us into the trade for 3 minutes. You can see we're currently in profit, right? If it makes sense, guys, how to set a pending trade on pocket option, just drop some 3s in the chat. Okay. Okay. Yep. It's pretty simple. And the cool thing about this is You can do this literally all day, right? So now that we understand like how the pending trades work, how to set a pending trade, and we actually saw a pending trade activate, we have about 2 minutes left in this trade. We're going to let it do its thing. Right now we are in profit, which is amazing, right? We love to be in profit. Um, and the reason why I told you guys that the best time to get into the trade is like if you're doing every 5 minutes, is every 5 minutes, is because you can actually set your trade to trigger. If we look on pending trades, look at this beautiful drop, y'all. Look at the beautiful drop. Yes, Andre, I'm happy you went for 1 minute because you have the option. If you're doing a 5 minute analysis, we know that within 5 minutes, at least five 1 minute candles are going to form, right? We know that if we're doing a 15-minute analysis, at least three 5 minute analysis, right, can be formed within that time, right? So we have about a minute left in this trade. We see that is dropping beautifully because we had a lot of confirmations for the sell and we didn't rush the trade, right? We didn't rush the trade. We're just letting the trade do its thing. We letting it do its thing and we're not rushing, right? A lot of people like to rush. A lot of people like to do 1 minute when sometimes everything doesn't have to be 1 minute. If you can make the same money in 3 minutes that you can make in 1 minute, it's really not that big of a deal. It's really not. All right, cool. So if you guys got into this trade, and you're in profit, just drop some money emojis, some blue faces, all of that good jazz in the chat. Because this thing is deep in profit. 26 points in profit are the only current candle once it meets the validity of the indicators. Well, it's really always going to be up to you. I just feel like longer trades just make more sense if you notice that there's a trend. Yes, everybody should have cleared that trade. Everybody should have cleared that trade. Everyone should have cleared that trade. So that's amazing. That's amazing. And we still have another pending order set. Now, the thing I like about this, and what I'm going to show you guys how to do next, is you really can find as many entry points as you want for the entire day, set them all, and then your thing will just be going off. How do you know when something's in profits? I always be confused. Oh, well, once you get into a trade, let's just say I get into a trade right now. Let's just say I get into a trade right now. On the right panel, on your pocket option, you have all these things that you can actually open up. So if you click on the top one, which says trades, it'll have your trade details here. So I typically click on it and it'll tell me I'm in for a sell. It'll tell me this little bar. By the time it gets to the end of this, it'll tell me what my forecast was, which was a sell. It'll tell me what my profits would be, where I got into the market, where price is at, and what the difference is. So you have to actually open your trades tab so that you can see all of this stuff. Yep. And again, pending trades also help. Pending trades also help if you're using the Swipes app, because we get notifications from the Swipes app, and they will look something like this. Let me show y'all real quick. Hold on 1 second, so I can show y'all how this would apply. Where is it? Okay, got it. I don't want to join my audio. And I'm going to share my screen from my phone so I can show y'all. All right, so y'all should be able to see it. All right, y'all. So pretty much when you get things from the Swipes app, hold on, where is it? Sorry, y'all. Oh, here it is. Ah! One second, y'all. Oh, that's not my password. Because I want to show y'all how to translate this to this. Oh my God, y'all, this is craziness. Swipes really be bugging out. Dang, I can't even show y'all. I can't even go back to a previous email, but pretty much you would get a note. Do I have a screenshot? I don't know. Pretty much you would get a notification from the Swipes app, and it would have everything that you needed in the notification. It has the currency pair. It says call or put. It's going to be in the corner. It has which educator actually dropped that signal. So if you know that you always clear with Millie Mills, and you see that Millie Mills drop the signal, you would want to take that. If you know that you don't clear with Kenry Moy, then you don't Kenry Mo, then you don't want to take his signals, but it gives you the entry point. It tells you whether it's going to be a buy or a sell. It tells you whether, how long you should set the trade for. So M3, M5, M1. And it'll also give you updates. So if the trade idea is no longer valid and you've already set it as a pending order, it'll say, okay, go in and cancel this trade. So that's another thing that I like about it. That's crazy. Well, I don't know about that. But yeah, that's pretty much how you use pending orders to do your own trades. And that's how you use it for the Swipes app as well. But let me just show you guys how to find more pending trades for yourself so you can essentially do what the Swipes app is doing yourself. So we're going to stay on the same currency pair. I'm just deleting these lines so we can start over. All right. So when you want to pretty much set your own pending orders, you would firstly log into your scanner, do the same steps, check your news, check your currency strength, and then choose your strategy. So we're going to stick with the original simple scalper. Now, what you'll want to do is just zoom out, right? Zoom out so that you can see. I typically will just make sure that I can like move the current candle over to the further to the screen so that I can see more of the screen. Now you're doing this because you want to see multiple areas of support and resistance and not just the ones on the current candle. Because if the market has been there, it's going to be there again. So in this case, you would just take your horizontal lines, right? And you would just put them where you see support and resistance. So I'll put the lines on the chart, and then I'll break it down. And then I'll put one there. All right, there we go. So pretty much what I did was just highlight areas where I see a high amount of candle activity, letting you know where the market typically buys and sells at. So we can see, I'll start from over here, right? So we can see that the market was down here. It was going up a little bit. It was going up a little bit. It was going up a little bit. It didn't get higher than this point, right? And when it almost got to that point, it just turned around and sold. It sold. And this was a floor, right? This was a floor. It broke past the floor, right? It broke past, and then it created a new support, right? A new support is just a lower low. So it was here before, which was a low. It broke past this low, and it created a new low. And then it got high, right? And then it got higher, and then it went back essentially within the same zone. It stayed within the same area for a while, right? It kept selling here. It kept buying here. It kept selling here. It kept buying here, right? And then we thought it was going to sell here, but then what happened? It broke past the resistance, and then it created a new level, right? We have a new high. We have a new low, right? We have a new high. We have a new low, right? You guys see what I'm saying? Just drop some threes in the chat, right? If you think that you can like recreate these lines on your chart based on what you can see, the support and resistance, also drop some threes in the chat. Right? Because we are only highlighting areas where we see the market is consistently buying, consistently selling, consistently buying, consistently selling. So what we would do, y'all, is all these lines that we put on our chart, these are all entry points that we can set for pending orders, right? So we would just write them down, right? We would literally write down 0.92736, 0.92657, 0.92577, and we would essentially see what was happening around that time last time, right? So let me clear these this green line off the chart. And let me just move this line too. I'll move it down. Now, the last time the market was at around this point, y'all, where is that right now? Where this black line is at? The last time this market was right here, even though it's a red candle, Was the market buying or selling? Every time it hits this line, 0.92563, or since it's HFX, let's just go with 563. Did it buy or sell at 563? Right, it bought. It bought. So essentially, looking at this, we can say that even if the market is not at well, it's under 563 right now, but we can say that the market is either, let me clear this. We can say that either when the market gets to this point, it's going to buy like it typically bought, or it's going to break the support like it did before, and it might continue to sell into this zone, right? Now we can wait and see, right? We could wait a minute and see what the next candle was going to do, but it's looking like we might be buying soon because that's typically what happens. Now we can test it out, and this is why you use your demo, right? We can say 563 or lower going for a buy. Let's see. Let's see. I think it's going to continue to sell, but this is the perfect example why you have a demo. And this is just based on setting up our lines, right? We didn't do any crazy confirmations. We just set up our support and resistance lines. All right, it's lower than 563. I got in at 559. Oh, I should have gotten for 3 minutes. So let's try both ways. It's a demo. All right, so I got in for a 1 minute trade at 559 and the 3 minute trade at 554. I do think it's going to keep selling, but we know that that was a previous high area for buying, but it's having a moment. It's breaking the resistance now. But do you guys understand like why you can use that area as an entry point for either a buy or a sell? Like we know that typically it bought, but it had the potential to break the resistance. That's when you would come in and count your confirmations and say, okay, red candle, right? Trigger word number 1 for a sell, purple dot, trigger word number 2, red bar facing down, facing down. So we would have set the pending order for the sell instead of the buy, even though we know that the market can react off of that point. If that really makes sense, y'all, drop a 7, right? Because I know it could get confusing, but it's not that confusing. If it makes sense, though, drop a 7. All right, makes sense to Jackie. I'll do another example though. I'll do another example because I know it could get a little confusing, y'all, but it's very simple. It's really all support and resistance. So I'm gonna look at another pair. We're gonna do it with fresh eyes, and we're gonna apply everything together because we just combined like 3 lessons: pending orders, support and resistance over a longer time frame, and confirmations, which is everything we need to do. So we're gonna go to, everybody can switch to, we're avoiding USD and GBP. So let's do, let's do Euro CAD. So everybody can go to Euro CAD. All right, we got about 20 minutes left. We can do another full example. We're going to go to Euro CAD, and we're going to check our currency strength. Let's see what's happening. Euro CAD. All right, so since I see that my first currency is weaker than my second currency, that's looking like my first indicator is for a sell. So we can actually test out that theory in the market. We can test out that theory. Is this market truly selling or is it buying? But we don't need just one confirmation. We just know, okay, it could be selling. So let's try. All right, so we got in at 830 for a sell. We see that the market is shooting up. So we know that, all right, the sellers are not that strong in the market unless we would just, see a dramatic drop like that. So far, our indications for the sell are correct, right? Now, the thing is, you don't want to get, well, this is a tip, and you can use it however you want. You don't want to get into the trade after one confirmation, but you can check the trade after every confirmation. So my first confirmation was, all right, it said this market should be selling. Let's see how fast that really is. Let's see how strong these sellers really are. Let me hop in for a sell right quick. But use your demo, y'all, because you can test out 3 or 4 trades in your demo before you get into your live account just to confirm that what you're seeing is what you're seeing. If that makes sense, y'all, drop an MS in the chat, right? Just do a test trade after every confirmation. All right, first confirmation, I see the market's going down. Now let me get into my Liberty scanner, which is, what are we doing? EuroCAD. EuroCAD. We're going to put it on the 5 minute. Right now, it's already zoomed out. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to highlight our areas of support and resistance that we can see. Where do we see that pattern at? Where do we see the M pattern? Where do we see the M pattern? So we always going to start right there because I see it's some resistance. I see at least 3 candles touching that. And that's another way to do it. Put a line where you see at least 3 candles touching, right? So now I see I got my little squiggly pattern in there. But what happened when the market broke out of that zone? It created, let's see if we can do a smaller one. Nope, we can do wide. It created another zone. And then what happened when the market broke out of that zone? It's actually starting to create another zone right now. But I bet if we zoom out, we can really see that it's actually not so much of a new zone at all, right? It's actually pretty valid in the past. But the thing is, you don't have to go back that far. Oh, thank you. The thing is, you don't even have to go back that far. But for people who need extra confirmation, just to understand support and resistance, just know that the market is always doing the same thing. But let's focus on a closer part of the chart, right? So I'm gonna just draw it out so we can see it. We see that the market was in this zone. It was going up. It hit a resistance, right? No sells, but no buys past that point. It came back down. It hit a support. Came back up. Hit the same resistance, right? It came down. So we would have thought that when it hit the support, it would have started buying, but it actually broke this support to create a new one, right? It created a new low, and then we bought. If we was going in for buys, we would have cleared, right? And then it hit the resistance, right? It hit the new resistance, right? And then it broke out and went back into the same zone. So we really can't be surprised. Yes, support and resistance 101. We can't be surprised, right? The market always has the possibility to stay in a zone and respect the zone or break out of the zone at any point in time. But the purpose is that you recognize what zone is in and what zone it could be going to. So look, let's see here. Resistance, support, oh, it's no longer a support. Now it's a resistance, right? So now the market's down here. So even without doing the confirmations yet, we can look at this and see this is a sell, right? We see our red candle, right? We see the dot. We see this is a sell. So we see that the market, now we can zoom out because we need to see, right? Last time the market was around, oh, y'all, sorry. Sorry. And let me just delete that line. So we can see, and you don't even have to really zoom out that far, but so that you understand and recognize support and resistance, you can. So we can see that the last time the market was around the area that it's at now, what was it doing, buying or selling? Or is it creating a new zone, right? Was it buying or selling, and is it creating a new zone? Let's zoom out further to see. Somebody let me know, is the market going to keep, is it going to buy now? Is it going to continue selling, or is it creating a new zone? Based on what we know about this support and resistance. Jackie said it's creating a new zone. Yes, new zone. New zone, new zone, new zone. Exactly, exactly. So now that we know that this is a new zone, we know we have all these entry points. Y'all can still set all these entry points as whatever. You can set 1.47994 as a buy because we see that when it hit the area buy, and you could set it as a sell, right? You could set it as a buy and a sell, and like I don't know, it may break even. I would do a few points off, but I would set 779 as my pending order for a sell, y'all. So everybody who is doing the pocket option, you're following along, go to your pending trades, go to EuroCAD, and I'll drop this in the chat as well because we know that that's going to be a nice area to sell because it just created a new resistance there. So 1.47779 pending order for a sell, EuroCAD. And these are the type of signals that they send out. These are the signals that they send out with the Swipes app. They'll come in here, they'll do support and resistance, and then they'll just give you guys a trade idea. All right, I see it's breaking into a new zone. Once it gets to 779, it's either going to start to buy again or it's going to keep selling. But based on the indicators right now, it's looking like it may continue to sell for a few minutes, but it is about to turn around. It is about to turn around. How many minutes? I would probably do like a 3-minute trade. Damn, it's dropping a lot, y'all. It just dropped another 100 points. It just dropped another 100 points. But remember, y'all, in addition to the 5-minute, you can also come down to the 1 minute and even bring it down further and say, okay, I could set a pending order for 1.47736 because I see that it's still in that new zone. It's still dropping. It's definitely creating a new zone. So yeah, all right, y'all. I'll do the pending order one more time. Did I drop it in the chat? Okay, cool. So we have the entry point that we want. We would just come to pending trades on pocket option. Make sure it's the right currency pair. Make sure it's by the asset price. And I'm going to put the price in that I want it to sell at, which is 1.47779. Always change the payout to 70. Time 3 minutes, and let's just say $100 and do sell. So once it gets to that point, it's going to put me in the trade, but it looks like it's about to get there. It's moving pretty fast, y'all. So look, let's see if it gets there. That's going to be the last thing we do. Well, I don't know. We could wait, but the entry point we're waiting for is 779. I already set the pending order. I don't have to do anything else. If you guys set your pending order for 779, drop a 1 in the chat. All right, cool. Awesome. Wow, you guys are moving quickly. So we can see how tempting it is to try to get back up there. We see how close it got and what it's trying to do. We also see that the buyers are in control of the market right now. So they are going to actually be able to drive the price up because it's 65% buyers, 33% sellers. So watch these jumps that happen. And we look at this. Look at this, y'all. We see a bunch of resistance from the sellers, but we see the buyers are actually in control. So let's see if they can make it touch our entry point and hit that resistance and come back down. Look at this. Let's see, y'all. This is so exciting. Oh, yes. And we're in. And we're in. And we're in. Now, let's see, because the buyers are very strong right now. The buyers are very, very strong right now. And they really, really, really want to drive the price up. But let's see, because they having a hard time keeping it up there. I feel like I'm narrating a sports game. That's what I feel like. But let's see. Oh, and we should be in for 3 minutes, right? Y'all got in for 3 minutes? Did y'all get in for 3 minutes? All right, y'all. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Now, what we need to happen is for the sellers to really, I'm gonna refresh it because this is craziness. We see the buyers are wilding right now, and we got in for a sale. So we need the sellers to really kick up. Woo! Yes, y'all. We in profit. This is good. This is good. This is good. This is good stuff, y'all. Good stuff, y'all. But we still got 2 minutes. Yes, go. That is so funny. Don't play with me. I'll start not doing sports betting, but I'll do HFX. I'll be right up there. Like, we should have an HFX tournament. I don't know how that worked, but I want to be the host. Shit, yo, do y'all see this thing is 60 points in profit? Yes, you can set all your pending orders for the day and leave, Mindy. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. Major daily. Shout out to you, Matt. 80 points in profit. Woo! Can we get some of these? I feel like, what's that? Doc Spills. I feel like Doc Spills. I don't know if y'all listen to Doc Spills, but that's how he be doing, y'all. 92. Let's clap it up for the pending orders. Let's clap it up for the support and resistance. Let's clap it up, y'all. Let's clap it up. And look, y'all, the sellers are in control. So they're going to keep driving the market down, y'all. We got this. 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 Clap, clap, clap. Yes, Jay. That is so hilarious. That is so funny, y'all. That is funny. Woo, let's go. Keep going down. Keep going down because the buyers have lost all control. And yes. Whoa, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Let me put this on my Instagram because y'all really wilding right now. You wilding right now. But this is cool, y'all. Oh, and the good news is, and I know y'all gonna be so happy to hear this, I actually have finally opened back up my schedule for one-on-ones. Finally. So you can go ahead and book yourself in a session because we are back in business. Oh, we about to clear. Oh, did my phone die? Yo, my phone really died. It said it's too much sauce. Said it's too much sauce. Clear. Everybody should have cleared that, John. Everybody should have cleared that, John. No, I'm not in PR and I'm also not home. I'm not in PR and I'm also not home. Look at that, y'all. Beautiful clears, beautiful clears. But all right, y'all, we're gonna wrap it up for the day. That was a beautiful lesson on. Shout out to you, Tabriata. You stay making money. I'm trying to get like you. But nah, shout out to everybody who came through and learned. This was an awesome session. I love teaching. I love when it translates well and that it all makes sense to everybody. Um, so yeah, I will continue doing my sessions every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Tomorrow we are back at it again to learn something else. But if you feel like okay, you're finally starting to get it, and you do want to book a one-on-one session, you can just go to the link in my bio on Instagram and I'll repost it in the chat as well when I drop this video. So I hope to see y'all there so that we can be clearing 24/7 on our own. But this was amazing and it's gonna be uploaded on YouTube as well. So I'll see y'all later. Have a great day, fam.